Paradise is burning, and nobody's talking about it. While the rest of America watches from the sidelines, 7 Florida cities are experiencing the most brutal housing correction in the nation. Home prices aren't just softening, they're collapsing. According to Realtor.com analysis, 7 of the 10 metros with the steepest price declines among America's 100 largest markets are all in Florida. The Sunshine State went from boom to bust faster than anyone predicted, and the carnage is just beginning. Insurance premiums have quadrupled, inventory has exploded, and local families who thought they were building wealth are watching their equity evaporate overnight. This isn't a dip. It's a full-scale market implosion. In this countdown, we're exposing the 7 Florida cities where the crash is hitting hardest, from number 7 all the way to ground zero. If you own property in any of these markets, or you've been thinking about buying, what comes next could save you from financial disaster. Hit subscribe to Housing Intel and ring the bell, because this is real estate intelligence you won't find anywhere else. The pattern is undeniable. Florida's pandemic boom created a super correction that's now unraveling at breathtaking speed. Between 2020 and 2023, the state saw home prices surge 50 to 80% in some metros. Buyers flooded in from high-cost states, investors snapped up properties sight unseen, and builders went on a construction frenzy. But by 2025, the music stopped. Mortgage rates climbed above 7%. Insurance costs became prohibitive. And suddenly, the math stopped working. According to the National Association of Realtors, Florida now leads the nation in markets experiencing negative price growth. Inventory has surged over 33% year-over-year statewide, and in some cities, it's more than doubled. Homes that once sold in days are now sitting for months. Price cuts are everywhere, and sellers are getting desperate. From coastal retreats to inland suburbs, no region is immune. Let's count down the 7 cities where the crash is most severe. Number 7. Sebastian. This small coastal city along Florida's Treasure Coast is feeling the squeeze. Home prices in Sebastian have dropped 4.6% year-over-year, a sharp reversal from the pandemic boom years. The median home price hovers around $390,000, but with local median incomes barely reaching $55,000, affordability has become a crisis. Buyers simply can't bridge that gap, especially with mortgage rates still hovering near 7%. Sebastian's inventory has climbed significantly, with active listings up over 40% compared to last year. Homes are sitting on the market for an average of 85 days, nearly double the pace seen in 2022. The primary culprit? Insurance. Coastal properties in Sebastian face flood zone premiums that can exceed $6,000 to $8,000 annually. And that's on top of already stretched housing budgets. Many buyers are walking away once they see the total cost of ownership. Local realtors report that out-of-state interest has cooled dramatically, and without that demand, the market has stalled. For sellers who bought at the peak, the reality is brutal. Equity is vanishing, and the window to exit is narrowing fast. Number 6. Brownsville. This smaller market has seen home prices decline 4.8%, and the challenges here are compounded by economic fragility. With a median household income of just $48,000 and median home prices near $360,000, the affordability crisis is suffocating local buyers. Brownsville's housing market surged during the pandemic as remote workers sought cheaper alternatives to Miami and Fort Lauderdale. But as inflation bit and mortgage rates soared, those buyers disappeared. Inventory has climbed over 50% year-over-year, and price cuts are becoming standard. Nearly 60% of active listings have reduced their asking prices at least once. days on market average 90 plus, a stark contrast to the instant sales of 2021 and 2022. Insurance premiums in this region have also spiked, adding another $500 to $700 monthly to housing costs. The local job market, heavily reliant on service industries and agriculture, hasn't kept pace with housing costs. Families are being priced out entirely, and investors who bought rental properties are now offloading them at losses. Brownsville isn't just cooling, it's freezing. Number 5. Northport. Situated just south of Sarasota, Northport became a hotspot during the pandemic for buyers priced out of more expensive coastal markets. But that boom has turned into a bust. Home prices are down 5.1% year over year, and the correction shows no signs of slowing. The median home price in Northport sits around $375,000, while median household income is approximately $62,000. That's a crushing affordability gap that's locking out first-time buyers. Inventory has more than doubled, jumping from roughly 1,000 active listings a year ago to over 2,400 today. Homes are sitting for an average of 95 days, and desperate sellers are slashing prices by tens of thousands of dollars just to generate interest. The problem? Oversupply. Builders flooded Northport with new construction during the boom, and now those homes are competing with resales in a market where demand has evaporated. Insurance costs have also exploded. Many Northport homes sit in flood zones or near them, pushing annual premiums to $7,000 or more. Add in HOA fees that can run $300 to $500 monthly, and the total cost of ownership becomes unaffordable for average families. Investors are fleeing. Local buyers can't afford it, and sellers are stuck holding properties that are declining in value every month. Number 4. Sebring. This inland city in Central Florida might not have beaches, but it's still drowning in a housing correction. Prices have dropped 5.2% year over year, and the outlook is grim. Sebring's median home price is around $270,000, more affordable than coastal markets, but with a median household income of just $43,000, even that's out of reach for many locals. The city experienced modest growth during the pandemic, as retirees and remote workers sought cheaper alternatives. But the boom was built on shaky foundations. Sebring's economy is fragile, reliant on agriculture, retail, and healthcare. There's no major employment driver to sustain housing demand. Inventory has surged over 60% year over year, and homes are sitting on the market for 100-plus days. Price reductions are everywhere, with some sellers cutting asking prices by $30,000 to $40,000. Insurance hasn't hit as hard here compared to coastal cities, but it's still climbed significantly, with annual premiums averaging $4,000 to $5,000. The bigger issue is population exodus. Younger families are leaving for metros with better job opportunities, and the retiree influx that once propped up demand has slowed to a trickle. Sebring is a cautionary tale of what happens when a market overheats without economic fundamentals to back it up. Number 3. Punta Gorda. This Gulf Coast city, long popular with retirees, is experiencing one of Florida's sharpest corrections. Home prices have plummeted 6.2% year over year, and the pain is spreading. The median home price in Punta Gorda is approximately $420,000, but with a median household income of $58,000, affordability has collapsed. Inventory has exploded, more than doubling from last year. Active listings now sit around 3,000 units, compared to just 1,200 in early 2024. Homes are lingering on the market for an average of 110 days, and nearly 70% of listings feature price cuts. The culprit is multifaceted. First, insurance. Punta Gorda homeowners are paying some of the highest premiums in the state, often exceeding $10,000 annually for properties near the coast or in flood zones. Second, oversupply. Builders went on a development spree, adding thousands of homes to a market that was already cooling. Third, demographic shifts. The retiree buyers who once flocked here are now hesitant, deterred by skyrocketing insurance and the perception of increasing storm risk. For sellers who bought at the peak in 2022 or 2023, the financial damage is severe. Many are facing $20,000 to $30,000 losses just to exit the market. And with inventory still climbing, there's no relief in sight. Punta Gorda's dream retirement narrative is colliding with harsh economic reality. Number 2. Naples. The crown jewel of Southwest Florida, Naples was once considered untouchable. Not anymore. Home prices in Naples have declined 6.7% year over year, and the luxury market is leading the free fall. According to local market data, the median sale price has dropped from $617,000 in early 2024 to $525,000 by May 2025. That's a $92,000 decline in just over a year. Inventory has reached 14.3 months of supply, the highest level in over a decade. For context, a balanced market typically has 4 to 6 months of inventory. Naples is drowning in listings. Single-family homes are sitting for 10.4 months on average, while condos are even worse, suffocating under new structural integrity regulations that have scared away buyers. Price cuts are brutal. Luxury lots that were listed at $5 million are now selling for $3.5 million, a 30% haircut. Sellers are panicking, and for good reason. Insurance costs in Naples have skyrocketed, with coastal properties seeing annual premiums climb to $12,000 to $15,000 or more. Some carriers have pulled out entirely, leaving homeowners scrambling for coverage through state-backed insurers at even higher rates. The Naples market was fueled by wealthy retirees and second home buyers, but even that demographic is pulling back. The math no longer works, and everyone knows it. For anyone who bought between early 2022 and now, selling at a loss is the new reality. Naples isn't just cooling, it's in full correction mode. Number 1. Cape Coral. If there's a ground zero for Florida's housing crash, this is it. Cape Coral leads the state with a devastating 7.1% price decline year over year, and the trajectory is getting worse. Often called the Venice of America for its sprawling canal system, Cape Coral is now sailing into the perfect storm of housing disasters. Home prices have dropped from a pandemic peak of over $500,000 to around $480,000 today. But here's the nightmare. Median household income in Cape Coral is just $65,000. That affordability gap is a canyon, and it's swallowing the market whole. Inventory has more than doubled, surging from 1,800 active listings a year ago to nearly 4,000 today. Homes are sitting for 75 to 90 days on average, and over 60% of listings feature price cuts, some slashed by $50,000 or more. The root cause is overbuilding. Between 2021 and 2023, Cape Coral was flooded with new development. Builders thought the boom would never end. They were catastrophically wrong. Demand hasn't kept pace. Out-of-state buyers have vanished. Local buyers can't afford the prices. And investors are running for the exits. Then there's insurance. Cape Coral has the nation's third highest insurance premium to market value ratio at 2.2%. The owner of a $350,000 home now pays $7,700 annually just for insurance. Some waterfront properties face premiums exceeding $10,000 per year. Many can't even find willing insurers. Citizens Property Insurance, The state-backed insurer of last resort is overwhelmed. To make matters worse, Cape Coral's infamous utility expansion fees hit new buyers with $30,000 or more in assessments just to connect to city water and sewer. That's on top of down payments, closing costs, and inflated home prices. The total cost of ownership is crushing. Families are being priced out. Investors are fleeing. And the construction-heavy local economy isn't diversified enough to absorb the shock. Cape Coral still looks like paradise in the postcards, but behind those canal views and palm trees, it's a financial trap. The 2025 crash isn't coming here. It's already fully underway. From number 7 to number 1, the pattern is unmistakable. Florida's housing market isn't softening. It's collapsing. 7 cities are leading the nation in price declines, and the forces driving this crash show no signs of easing. Insurance premiums that have quadrupled. Inventory that's exploded to levels not seen in over a decade. Affordability gaps that are locking out entire generations of local buyers. And a demographic shift where even wealthy retirees are thinking twice before jumping in. Equity is vanishing. Sellers are panicking. And buyers are walking away. But here's the reality. Armed with this data, you can navigate what comes next. You can avoid the traps that are costing others tens of thousands of dollars. You can wait for the bottom, position yourself strategically, and make decisions based on facts, not hype. Knowledge is your greatest weapon in a volatile market. So if this breakdown opened your eyes, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to Housing Intel for weekly data-driven real estate intelligence that cuts through the noise and delivers the truth. And drop a comment below. Which Florida city shocked you the most? Are you buying, selling, or waiting it out? We read every single comment. We'll see you in the next video, because sometimes the best investment decision is knowing exactly where not to buy.